Okay, now I see. Are you able to hear me now? Yes. Yes. Thank you. Good. I got it. Okay. So can you still hear me? Yes. Nice. Yes, we got it. That's good. So we're going to be learning some helpful island tips since some of our students are taking the island assessment right now. And we will also do some explanation about the American currency. Of course, we will dive into our virtual field trip and we will share some very important upcoming events. And as always, we will share some very good, some goodies, some community resources. And of course, we want to highlight this point. We really want to share your feedback with us. We want to hear from you. It's been an amazing school year. It can't happen but for your cooperation and for your showing up. So we want to know what we're doing good, what we need to improve upon, what we're doing better. And that's why we really want to encourage you all to share your feedback at the end of this.
So without further ado, I'm going to let Miss Mulligan do justice to this.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Wayne Library, some of our clerks were noticing some of our folks coming in, and we librarians like to help print, and sometimes our machine will only take up to $3 with a credit card, and it will charge you or hold $3 for 24 hours. And if you're like me, you don't really want to wait that long for that money. It will take up to $5 in cash. So when we print out for you, we'll write down on a piece of paper how much you owe. And so the picture that Ms. Akambola had up shows some of the coins that you would use to pay for printing. Yeah, she had a better picture, but yes. So I wanted to show when you come into the public library, we don't usually have change for the higher bills, which is the $20, anything up $20, $50, or $100. We don't keep that much in our building. So it's hard for us to make change for you. So if you are paying for a 30-cent or a 15-cent print job, it's best to use coins, or the lowest bill would be the $1 bill. We'll make change for that. What we don't want is you're walking up and saying, okay, as she said, here's my $10 bill, just give me change back. We want you to understand what you're paying for and how to make change yourself. The $1 bill, I'm sorry.
Keep going. Yeah,
the $1 bill. If you were to make change from that, the quarter, which is on the left-hand side of your screen, that's the bottom, the bigger one. Yes, it would take 4 of those for a $1 bill. So if you are paying for a print job, you can hand us a quarter for 15 cents, or a quarter and a nickel, which is 5 cents, and those to us, and that will be sufficient. If you don't have change, which many of us don't, you can give us $1 bill or $5 bill. We'll explain what how much you owe and how much change you'll get back. Any questions? I'm not completely explaining this, but my goal is to make sure you understand that you do not have to hand us a $20 bill or a $10 bill unless you owe $10 or $11 or $12. If you owe something higher than $1 or $5, then you would need the bigger bills. Okay. Yeah, and there's a couple of pictures for a 1-page black and white print. The 15 cents is all you need. On the right, the 30 cents, if it's 2 pages, that's all you would need. Okay. Sometimes you have a lot of printing that you're doing, and you'll need more than that. But generally you won't need more than $3 or $4 for any of our printing here at the library. Yes, when you need to pay for items with American Cash, use the lowest bills necessary. And yeah, that's what I just said a moment ago. And you can use a combination of $1 bills, $5 bills, and your coins to make your payment, unless you owe more than $20 or you owe more than $10. Okay. In terms of change or cash or coins, those all mean the same thing. 10 dime, a dime is 10 cents. So 10 of those makes $1. 20 of the nickels or 5 cents equals $1. And I don't know about you, but I don't carry 100 pennies in my pocket, but would take 100 of those for $1 bill. So if you have pennies and you want to share, please do. But we want you to make sure that you're not overspending, whether it's at the library or anywhere else. So yeah, use the lowest bills possible, and watch out. Some places, gas stations, libraries, if you use your credit card, they will sometimes the credit card company will sometimes put a hold for 24 hours. That means you won't have access to whatever they've chosen. Here at the library, it's $3. You won't have access to that $3 for 24 hours. So if you do need to use a credit card to pay for something, and you're sending several things to the printer, let us know, let one of the librarians know. We can print everything for you. And then you would just pay one time at the front desk, at the checkout desk. So you're not getting a $3 hold each time you make a payment with your credit card. Okay. Any questions? Comments?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let me check the chat box real quick. If you
Okay.
have any questions, please, parents, you are welcome to ask your questions right now. If you want clarification about any of the currency, the coin or the paper bill.
Okay.
We will quickly join with that, the Indianapolis Public Library. Ms. Mulligan is going to mention some very important points, especially as we move very quickly towards summer break. So
Yes.
there's some things that we want to encourage our families to do during the summer break, so you do not lose touch, or lose touch of education totally, especially for our kids. So she's just going to go ahead and join that with what she just shared with us. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Yes. We are a free place where you can come in and use our free Wi-Fi. That's access to the internet. It doesn't cost you anything. We are here to enrich everyone, strengthen our communities, help you everyone learn whatever it is you're wanting to learn more about. We have books, we have movies, we have music. So not just educating yourself, whether it's language or how to fix something, or how to grow something. We have a seed library where you can pick up from free seeds and grow your own flowers or veggies or vegetables or herbs. But we also have entertainment, so you can check out DVDs online, or we have Blu-ray as well, or if you can stream music. We have books and movies, and I believe CDs in multiple languages. So if you come into the Wayne Branch Library, we're here on the west side, 198 South Girls School Road. If you don't see your language on the shelf, please let us know, because we can borrow from other library branches around our system. It is free to get a library card. You just need to show us that you live in Indianapolis, Marion County. So your identification to drive is all that you would need. If that is not up to date, say you move from one place to another, if you have some mail that has your name on it and your new address, that could be a bill that you got, anything to show us where you live, and that will allow you to get a free library card. If you have children, you can use your own library card to check out materials or books for your children, or you can get them a card, but they will have to be with you to get a card. And as I said, yeah, you can check out books, movies, music, magazines. We have free programs for all ages. We are starting the summer reading program on June 3rd. It will be a wonderful party kickoff. We'll have silly safaris. They bring animals of different types. We'll have some different activities that you can do. We have programs called 1000 Books Before Kindergarten, where you sign up and keep track of the books you're reading with your children until they are ready for kindergarten. If they're teenage, they can sign up for 100 books before graduation. And it's done the same way, only with the bigger books and keeping track of teen, or if they're reading adult books. We get prizes along the way with both of those. And there will be prizes during the summertime program. It's June and July. So read 1 hour either together or they read on their own. They come in and choose the 1 hour prize. There'll be a 5 hour prize, and 10 and 15 and 20 and 25. So you can kind of see that we want to help you continue to read with your children or keep their reading going during the summer. The lunch bus will be here from Wayne Township Schools, so you can sit outside and have lunch with your children. Yes, we'll have different things going on. We have different services, career services, if you're looking for a job, or you need help writing your resume or thing like that. We can help walk you through how to do a resume or to apply for a job. We do work with the Marion County Public Health Department. Wayne is not one of the locations, but Eagle here on the west side is. So you can check with Eagle Branch about when that is happening. And then, yes, we have study rooms. If you want a quiet room to sit and practice or work on something, of course, you can come in and sit anywhere in our library. I feel like I'm forgetting something. The best way is you can email me if you have a question. My phone number is there. You can also stop by the Wayne Branch Library, again, 198 South Girls School Road, just south of Rockville Road. You can also go online if you have access to the internet. IndyPL, that's INDYPL.org. You see that as last part of my email. When you click on that, it will open up a whole world of possibilities. There's information about the seed library. There's information about the different services, the different programs we offer. For the next few weeks, we'll have story times for children, Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 11 a.m. And yes, there's a whole list. So we hope that you will stop by and visit us. Contact me if you have any questions or have issues getting a library card, anything like that. Just let me know.
Thank you so much, Ms. Mulliken. Thank
You're welcome.
you.
That's a lot of
I know we're so sorry. We're crunched with time, but we
That's
always
okay.
appreciate you and all the wonderful information you have for our families to share. Like she mentioned, if you ever have any questions, please feel free to either write it in the chat box or contact us later on. The number is listed together with our email. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Families, if you're just joining us, do not forget to please sign into the chat box and write your name for attendance purposes. So let's continue. All right, so before we go visit the Midwestern states, let's quickly see some quick facts about the Midwest. So we know this is where you live, where we all live right now, is considered the Midwestern part of the United States. So it consists of 12 states. Generally, temperature fluctuations can occur throughout the year. So you hear some people saying, oh, Indiana weather, On Saturday, I was just enjoying the beautiful weather in shorts, in my short skirt, only for me to wake up on Monday morning, and it's a different story. So there's temperature fluctuations throughout the year, and summers can be brutally hot, while winters can be downright bone chilling. So Chicago, our next neighbor, and that's in Illinois State, is the most populated city in the Midwest US states, and of course, the third largest city in the nation. And this is Illinois. The yellow is Illinois. And you can see us right beside Illinois, that's Indiana. Bloomington in Minnesota, this is Minnesota, is huge. Is the home to the Mall of America, one of the most popular tourist attractions in the US. St. Louis, Missouri. You can see Missouri right here, down below Illinois. So it houses the world's tallest arch, and you're going to see that in the video. As we're watching, the gateway is called the Gateway Arch. It towers 630 feet tall, and it's made of stainless steel and was completed in 1965. The Ohio River, Upper Mississippi River, and Missouri River are the major rivers that flow through the Midwest. Major crops in the Midwest are wheat, corn, and oats, giving rise to the nickname the breadbasket of America. So Midwest is called the breadbasket of America. And of course, our own state, Indiana, it means Indian land. That was where the name was coined from, Indian land. Indiana is the 38th largest state in the US. And Indiana is most famous for auto race, that's Indy 500, and is held in Indianapolis Motor Speedway every Memorial Day weekend each year. So those are some of the quick facts before we watch the video. So let's sit back and let's enjoy this trip together.
Even by the very start of the 20th century in the early 1900s, the Midwest had come a long way from the covered wagons that used to dot the horizon only 100 years before. The many factory jobs that were available brought thousands, if not millions, of immigrants to the country, especially from Europe. Around the same time, many African Americans began to migrate from the South to cities in the North to find work. There were so many African Americans relocating that the movement became known as the Great Migration. So, years of immigration and migration have brought diverse groups of people to the region. And the culture of the Midwest has now flourished with all the people that moved there. The blues musical style made its way north with the Great Migration and found new homes and new sounds in Chicago, along with St. Louis. After evolving into rhythm and blues, Detroit created its own style of music with the hugely popular Motown sound. Bouncy melodies, catchy rhythms, and soulful ballads are all part of the musical movement that came out of the Motor City of Detroit in the 1960s. Let's move forward in time to see what's happening in the Midwest 200 years from when it was first settled. Even though there's still a lot of farming that takes place here on the Plain States, it looks a lot different than it did during the times of the early settlers. Today, farmers have new technologies to help guide their farming practices. Computers have a role to play in helping them to decide what crops to plant and when to plant, fertilize, and harvest them. Modern farm machinery helps farmers grow and harvest more crops in less time. Farming techniques like crop rotation helps keep the soil fertile and keeps the number of damaging pests to a minimum. Back in the early days, farms were typically run by families. Today, however, most farms are now owned and run by large corporations. Around the same time that farms were becoming more commercial, workers decided they wanted to come in from the fields and find jobs in one of the new and growing industries. Eventually, these two trends saw people begin to move from farms and towns to the cities. This population shift is known as urbanization, since cities are urban areas. Millions of people found new jobs in the many factories and businesses popping up all over. That trend continued for decades as generation after generation of families grew up here in the Midwest. But eventually change took place, here along with everywhere else. These days, many of the factory jobs no longer exist. For example, the many automobile factories that used to be here have moved to places where the cost of labor is cheaper. Today, most of the jobs are in service industries. A service is an activity a person or company does for someone else, for example, transportation. Service industries can be in sectors related to banking, healthcare, communications, tourism, and real estate. Another big change is taking place around where people are choosing to live. Just like many other places around the country, the cost of living can be high in cities. It typically doesn't cost as much to live in suburban or rural areas, and homes can cost half as much as those in the city. Improvements in transportation mean that people can live outside the city in the suburban areas, but still commute daily to their city jobs. So the suburban areas throughout the Midwest have seen a lot of population growth. Businesses in suburban areas have also grown so that they can support the many people now living there. This would be a good time to take a look at the cities of Midwest and find out what has put them on the map. Chicago has more people than any other city in the Midwest, with a population of just under 3 million. It sits on the shoreline of Lake Michigan, where the lake breezes help to create the nickname the Windy City. These days, it continues to be a transportation hub, but it's also an international hub for technology, commerce, industry, and finance. Chicago's residents like to make use of the L, or elevated train, that can help move people around without getting in the way of the busy city traffic below. Chicago is also well known for its architecture or building styles. You can see its urban beauty by looking at the skyline, filled with its many skyscrapers. This was the home of the very first skyscraper not so long ago, and now there are more than 1,300. Here is the Willis Tower, the 110-story building formerly known as the Sears Tower and the tallest structure in the city. Not only that, it's also the third tallest building in North America and the Western Hemisphere. Other tourists come to see Frank Lloyd Wright's prairie style of architecture. His flat-roofed buildings are meant to reflect the region's flat prairies. This is the Cloud Gate sculpture, more commonly known as the Bean. A trip to Chicago is not complete without a selfie in front of the Bean. Oprah Winfrey's programs and magazines are very popular, and she's certainly given Chicago tourism a boost. Indianapolis is one of the 3 largest cities in the Midwest with a population of almost 900,000. It's probably best known as the host of a very popular car race, the Indianapolis or Indy 500. As its name suggests, the race is 500 miles long and has been run for more than 100 years, beginning in 1911. What you may not know is that Indianapolis is also home to the largest children's museum in the world, the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. Columbus is also one of the 3rd largest cities of the Midwest, and it too has a population of around 900,000. It's the state capital of Ohio, and it was named after Christopher Columbus. Just like many other state capital cities, it sits right in the middle of the state. The city celebrates some of its immigrant roots in the German Village, a historic neighborhood built by German settlers in the 1800s. There, the historical presence of German culture, architecture, and food from past years are still there for all to enjoy. Columbus is famous for the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. It has gained worldwide recognition and has been rated the #1 zoo in America several times. Many people also know Detroit as the Motor City because of its one-time importance in the automobile industry. You don't hear this very often, but Detroit is also known for its lively street art. From building murals to complicated sculptures, there's no shortage of sights. This is known as the Heidelberg Project, an urban public art display inspired by the artist's childhood neighborhood. Thousands of visitors come here each year. Detroit will forever remain in U.S. history as the cradle of the auto industry, and there are many ways to recognize this importance throughout the city. Museums like the Henry Ford Museum celebrate the first affordable family car, the Model T. The Automotive Hall of Fame celebrates the contributions of the men and women who were pioneers in the automotive industry. Cincinnati is known affectionately as the Queen City by locals. One of the most unique places to visit in all of Cincinnati is Ohio's oldest continuously operated public market called Findlay Market. Findlay Market is home to more than 50 full-time merchants and their colorful shops. On weekends, the market hosts a lively outdoor farmers market, along with street performers and special events. Cincinnati is also known for its historic architecture, like the beautiful music hall that dates back to the late 1800s. Des Moines is known for its business presence, especially as a major center for the insurance industry, along with financial services and publishing. On a lighter note, the Papa John's Sculpture Park is known as a quirky site in the city where you'll find more than 20 sculptures by well-known local artists. Each year, more than 1 million people flock to Des Moines to experience the Iowa State Fair. To put that number in perspective, the entire population of Iowa is about 3 million people. An overload of fun is enjoyed by all, especially those who love all the unique food that the fair has to offer. Fargo is the largest city in North Dakota, although it's not the capital. Bismarck is. Before the Europeans arrived, the Sioux had a strong presence here. Then it became a fur trading post that grew into a frontier town. Now it's a major transportation hub for the surrounding region. During the lumber boom of the 1880s, Grand Rapids was known as America's furniture capital. It was a center for craftsmen, carpenters, and woodworkers with as many as 44 furniture companies located here. Kansas City sits on both sides of the Missouri River. As it turns out, on one side of the river is the state of Missouri, and on the other side is the state of Kansas. So there are two different Kansas cities. The Missouri side is the larger of the two, and this is where you'll see the skyscrapers across the cityscape. The Kansas side is much smaller and is more like a suburb of the bigger Kansas City. It also has its very own Legoland. Milwaukee is the largest city in Wisconsin. Recently, it created the beautiful Milwaukee Riverwalk, a wonderful opportunity for residents and visitors to take in art displays, parks, restaurants, scenic shoreline beauty, and even a festival or two. Omaha was an important stop when settlers began traveling west. Eventually, a railroad was built to connect Omaha with California. So by the late 1800s, and with the help of the railroad, Omaha became a transportation hub for East and West. There are many sculptures throughout the city honoring these pioneers of years past. Cleveland's nickname is the Forest City. It is a port city on Lake Erie's shoreline and is a part of the St. Lawrence Seaway that connects it to the Atlantic Ocean. This building is Cleveland's Glenn Research Center and is one of 10 places in the nation where NASA develops new technology for use in aeronautics and space exploration. It's named after the astronaut John Glenn, who was from Ohio. Minneapolis is the most populous city in Minnesota. It's located along the Mississippi River, where the nearby waterfalls helped the many mills turn wheat into flour and timber into lumber back in the early days of the city. In fact, for around 50 years, starting in the late 1800s, Minneapolis was the flour milling capital of the world. That is where one of its nicknames, Mill City, came from. Visitors to the Mill City Museum can learn how flour mills helped the city to grow. It's also known as the City of Lakes because there are around 22 lakes spread throughout its boundaries. This gives the city a rich lake culture and plenty of attractions and activities for its residents and visitors. Minneapolis is one half of the Twin Cities nickname that is often used to describe it. The other half is St. Paul, its neighbor across the river. Although St. Paul has a smaller population, it has the honor of being the state's capital. Wichita is the largest city in Kansas. Historically, it became a destination for cattle drives traveling north from Texas to the Kansas railroads, earning it the nickname Cowtown. It's also known as the air capital of the world. This is because there are many aviation and aeronautics businesses in and around the city. The flatland all around the city was favorable for easy takeoffs and landings for research and testing. St. Louis began as a French fur trading post back in 1764. After the Louisiana Purchase and the beginning of the westward expansion, St. Louis took on even greater importance. For one thing, it was where Lewis and Clark set out from on their famous expedition. After them came the early pioneers and their wagon trains, making their way through St. Louis as the gateway to the West and their new lives. The Gateway Arch now stands as a monument to these pioneers who passed through St. Louis all those years ago. The Midwest region is home to many landmarks, both natural and man-made. Let's look at some of the natural ones first. Here is Chimney Rock in Nebraska. You can probably see why it was given its name. It was an important landmark on the Oregon Trail for the pioneer travelers of long ago, and then became a symbol of the Great Western Migration. It also signaled the end of the prairies as the trail became more steep and rugged heading further west towards the Rocky Mountains. The peak of Chimney Rock is 4,220 feet above sea level. In South Dakota, spectacular colored rock formations can be seen here in the area known as the Badlands. You can see them up close at Badlands National Park. Here, the wind and water have carved the land into unusual shapes over millions of years. The many fossils discovered in the park also give us a glimpse of the animals who lived here many millions of years ago. Cave of the Mounds is a natural limestone cave located near Blue Mounds in Wisconsin. In fact, it's named for these mounds. A large crack on the surface, called the cave's lifeline, allowed rainwater to seep into the stone and begin the erosion process leading to the cave's formations. This natural activity began forming somewhere around 1 million to 1.5 million years ago. Here are some man-made landmarks that help define the Midwest region. This is one of the most famous landmarks not only in the Midwest, but in the country. It's called Mount Rushmore, and you can find it in South Dakota. Its formal name is the Mount Rushmore National Memorial. This remarkable work of art has been carved out of the peaks of the Black Hills. The 4 presidents on the mountainside are George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. The carving of Mount Rushmore began in 1927 and was finished in 1941, a total of 14 years. The actual carving was done by a team of over 400 men. Each president's face is 60 feet high. Just a few miles away, artists are now creating a similar memorial to the Lakota Sioux leader Crazy Horse, although it's been under construction for many years. The Gateway Arch is a 623-foot-high monument in St. Louis, Missouri. It is the world's tallest arch and is often referred to as the Gateway to the West. It was built as a monument to the westward expansion of the United States and was officially dedicated to the American people. It's the centerpiece of Gateway Arch National Park and has become an internationally recognized symbol of St. Louis, as well as a popular tourist destination. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a museum and hall of fame located in downtown Cleveland, right on the shore of Lake Erie. The museum documents the history of rock music along with the artists, producers, engineers, and other notable figures who have influenced its development. It also explores the cultural significance of rock and roll music in society. Not too far away in Canton, Ohio, is the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The idea for the creation of the National Football League was first pitched in Canton, Ohio, and so it's only fitting that the Hall of Fame be located here. This is where the legends of the game live forever. This is the Mackinac Bridge, and it connects Michigan's upper and lower peninsulas. It's also the 5th longest suspension bridge in the world. Its nickname is the Mighty Mac. The Mall of America is a shopping mall located in Minnesota in a suburb of the Twin Cities. It's the largest shopping mall in North America and one of the top 10 largest malls in the world. Take a trip down the Enchanted Highway in western North Dakota for a glimpse of classic roadside art. Giant metal sculptures line the highway leading from Gladstone to Regent, amusing and entertaining travelers along the way. What's probably most surprising is that they're made from scrap metal. Let's acquaint ourselves with some famous Midwesterners and see how many you already know. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, spent some important years living in the Midwest, becoming the commanding personality that he is known for being. Not only did he sign the Emancipation Proclamation abolishing slavery, but he also led the Union to win the Civil War. Samuel Clemens is better known as Mark Twain. He often wrote about growing up in Missouri in the 1800s in books like Life on the Mississippi and The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Crazy Horse was a Sioux tribal chief and led his warriors at the Battle of Little Bighorn. Henry Ford was an entrepreneur or business founder who designed, built, and sold Model T cars in the very early 1900s. He was also a manufacturing innovator who came up with the concept of assembly line manufacturing, forever changing how products are made. Laura Ingalls Wilder was a children's author who wrote about her pioneer childhood in the Little House on the Prairie books. Thomas Hart Benton was a painter and an art teacher, most well known for his paintings about life in the rural Midwest, especially the history of Missouri in the Missouri State House. Oprah Winfrey was mostly raised in the Midwest and went on to host her own Chicago-based daytime talk show for 25 years. Her many dedicated fans and followers have elevated her to becoming an entertainment industry leader with a powerful voice. She is the first African-American woman to own a major production company, and even more impressive is that she's the first African-American to become a billionaire. Prince, the wildly famous multi-talented singer, songwriter, producer, and musician, was a proud Midwesterner who lived here most of his life. He is widely regarded as one of the greatest musicians of his generation. His 30-year music career saw him release 39 albums and sell more than 150 million records. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, won an Academy Award, along with 7 Grammy Awards, and performed at the Super Bowl. His Paisley Park home and studio has now become a destination and tourist attraction for his many fans. It's hard to believe that 200 years ago, the Midwest didn't even exist. So much has changed in such a short space of time. Who knows what the next 200 years will hold for this vibrant region that holds on to its roots, yet continues to move forward. Maybe it's that pioneer spirit. Thanks for coming along with us today, and we hope you'll join us again as we take a look at another one of the U.S. regions. Bye for now.
I hope we all enjoyed that short trip around the Midwest. So I'm assuming you were able to catch some very important points or individuals or products, that it's synonymous to us as Midwesterners. So it is always good to, know all this information because it helps us to understand better where we reside, where we live. So I don't know if you were able to catch one or two things while watching the video. Let's see. Yeah. So we encourage you to. So that is our virtual field trip today. Does anybody have any question? Real quick. Do we have any question? So let's pay attention to some of our upcoming events. If you are not a newcomer, if this is not your first year, you maybe in the past have joined us probably for our international festival, always held at Lyndhurst 7th and 8th grade center. So this year, we're going to be holding that annual event on Wednesday, May 17, from 5:30 until 8 p.m. So actually, we encourage you to join us because that's going to be our final meeting, our final parents meeting for the school year. So this is the flyer that is attached. There will be culture, display of different cultures, the rich cultures that is present in our school district. We have music, there's food, drinks, games. It's going to be a wonderful time. It's always a great event every year. So we encourage you all to participate if you can. The kindergarten registration is still ongoing. The hours are listed on the screen for you. We also have the Science Summer Safari. Contact the number listed for details of the event if your family wants to participate. Immunization clinic will be happening at Garden City next month, May 10. It's from 2:30 until 6 p.m. So feel free to join if you want your family to have some shots. And the forms, look, the forms are attached. So we have the form in English and in Spanish. Feel free to download and print out those forms, and you can fill them ahead of time and submit when you go to the clinic on May 10th. So if you do not have somewhere to print, this is a good time to make use of the library. You are free to go to the library and print out these forms. We also want to make the announcement for the naturalization clinic for refugees and asylees. Our Catholic charity, the address is listed on May 13, Saturday, May 13. So if you want to receive some coaching towards your naturalization, you're welcome to attend this free event. It is free. You do not have to pay. And as always, we have tons of resources listed on this page for you. We want to really highlight the 21st Century Scholars Program. So this program is a very, very important program that is available for our students that are eligible. So you're welcome to contact your school counselor, and you'll be able to receive more details about the program. It actually funds 100% tuition, college tuition for eligible students. So if you want to know more about that program, please contact your counselor in your school. Assistance with basic resources. It's always encouraged. Just click on this link and it will take you to that. Actually, let's click on it. It will take you to that link where you can, just put in your zip code and find whatever it will tell you, ask you, what are you trying to find? Are you finding food? Are you requesting assistance with rent? Whatever you are finding, you will type it here and then you type your zip code. You are also able to select the language of your choice. It's listed there. Whatever language that you speak, you are able to access this information in your native language. It was mentioned to us, the Indianapolis Public Library Summer Reading Program. Feel free to join. The Gleaners are always providing food, so visit that website as well. So this one, as we want to highlight the Wayne Township Trustees Office Assistant. So this is one, the thing that we really want to share with you, the one resource. So the Wayne Township Trustees Office offer different assistance, including tuition assistance, but you have to apply. So if you click on that link, it will take you to that website where you can see all that they have to offer. So we encourage families to visit that, and you'll be able to see all those. We have free online tutoring. Giants Marketplace, the next one will be on May 16 at Niagara Center. Feel free to join them. Payment assistance, you can find help, and with all these resources are listed, and please feel free to access them for your use. We have also put together some tips for families. So summer tips, make sure you enjoy family times and try to maintain a structured schedule if you are able. Stay active and healthy. Make sure you schedule your checkups and shots for children in the family. Make sure you are hydrated, drink plenty of water. Make a reading list, visit the local library and read, and read. Participate in summer learning events around you. Those are some of the things that will keep you updated during summer. So we just want to use this opportunity, Mr. Esquivel and myself, and together with the entire LAP team, we want to use this opportunity to say thank you for an amazing year. We want to say thank you for always showing up. If you do not show up, who are we going to share these resources with? So thank you for always showing up. Thank you for always asking questions. Thank you for always making use of all these resources for your family. And thank you. We hope you appreciate all that we try to provide and support you with in our school district. And we always want to say, we wish you an amazing rest of the school year. We will want to really encourage you to share your thoughts. Like I mentioned earlier, please click on the link and share your feedback with us. We want to hear from you. We want to know how we're doing. We want to know what it is for us to improve on. We just want to know all that needs to be known. We will really appreciate your contribution. Also, we need to let you know that we will meet at the International Festival next month for our final meeting. And Mr. Esquivel and Mrs. Akimbola, which is myself, our last day of school will be June 1. And we will be returning back for normal business on Monday, July 24th. So we will be putting some of those notices on Parent Square. Please watch out for our messages on Parent Square. So if you ever have any question during summer, you're welcome to contact our LAP administrative assistant, Miss Anna Moika. Our number and our email is listed. Thank you so much. I don't know if any one of us have any questions, but we just want to say again, thank you for an amazing school year. Thank you for always showing up. On behalf of our coordinator, Dr. Denisha Moore, we want to say thank you. Thank you. Esheu, gracias. And this is the end of the meeting. Oh, Dr. Moore is here. Hi, Dr. Moore, welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, hi.